Help support Friendo Club by going to patreon.com/Steven Larson or clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson. Access to bonus episodes, question threads for the Going In Raw podcast, and entry to our monthly wrestling predictions challenges. Join the Friendo Club today. Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And it's the last day of the year, but more importantly, it's the day after. Man, Larson, we wrapped our podcast review of the show around 12 hours ago or so, and we're already back at it here to deliver the freshest star ratings for AEW's World End, unlike
those other guys.
That's right, man. You got to wait till Friday to get your star ratings from those other guys. Why wait when you can have ours right now?
I was in the middle of a leg workout. I got my protein shake right here. I stopped that.
Look at that.
To do this.
Interrupting life for you to bring you the freshest star ratings. Exactly. All right, we're talking about World's End today, Larson, the last pay-per-view of the year.
Yeah.
So where do you want to start with this?
We'll start with the first match on the main card since we watched the entirety of the kickoff show. So we'll start on the main card. First match. 8-man tag match. You had Brody King, Roosh, Jay Lethal, and Jay White taking on Bryan Danielson, Claudio, Mark Briscoe, and Daniel Garcia. Steve, what'd you give this match?
I love this match. Well, I'll put it this way. I really liked this match. I thought it was a lot of fun. They sort of took, I don't even know how long it was. It felt like it was 25 minutes long.
Yeah, it
really
seemed
long.
like a long match, yeah.
They took a long time to sort of tell one story, or advance one story, I should say, and that's one Daniel Garcia and the conflict between, I guess, wanting to dance and being part of the Blackpool Combat Club, whatever that is. And I really like Daniel Garcia's work. That being said, I can't lift it up to a great star rating. I gave it 3.5 stars. I thought it was a really, really good match that really didn't need to be on a pay-per-view because it was just like a losers. They didn't even split like the two teams between the Gold League and the Blue League. I thought that could have been like added something maybe, because then you have the can they coexist type thing.
Yeah.
But also, it's like, hey, I was Gold League, I'm Blue League. Let's prove which league was better, maybe something like that. So I gave it 3.5 stars. I thought it was fine, but man, a lot of fine wrestling matches. I need more. I need story.
Oh, I agree with that. And yeah, the story of that one was Daniel Garcia getting a win, which he already did in his last match against Brody. As far as length, it was tied for the second longest match on the entire card, according to Wikipedia here. The longest match, no surprise here, was Cope versus Christian Cage.
Okay, yeah.
Actually says here 25 minutes on Wikipedia. And then both the main event and this 8-man tag match were 17 minutes and 50 seconds.
Felt longer, but okay.
Yeah, it did. I guess with entrances, there's a lot of entrances. There's 8 participants. They all get their own entrances, I guess.
Good point, yeah.
Or for the most part. This in some respects, this match was kind of AEW distilled to its essence.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
You have 8 phenomenal wrestlers in the ring, wrestling their asses off and putting on a really good match. But the issue is the story may not exactly be there to get you as emotionally invested in the bout as you maybe would like, considering the talents here.
Yeah, right.
There's nothing to quibble about as far as the quality of the wrestling in this match because it was excellent. And it did in the end serve to help Daniel Garcia's story, especially as it relates to Bryan Danielson. There was a little tease of something at the end. They had a little, look at each other from across the ring. But I needed more to give this like a really good rating. Mm-hmm. At first, I was feeling a little generous, but I'm gonna say 3 3/4 stars.
Okay, all right. So you were going for 4, then you.
I thought about it, but then talking it out, it kind of feels like you need a little bit more.
I feel
you need a little bit more.
Yeah.
More stakes.
I feel you.
More stakes to get emotionally invested here. Next match. You had Andrade in what seemingly is his last match in AEW.
Yeah.
Taking the L to Miro. And, 14 minutes and 45 seconds is how long this match was.
That sounds right. I would have gone 12. I would have said it was 12, but okay.
Yeah, in a match that probably should have went about 10.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Again, nothing wrong with this one. It was Miro having the upper hand and dominating for the most part. Mm-hmm. Andrade getting some offense in stretches here. I didn't give this a terribly high rating from a storyline perspective, though. Because from the storyline perspective, It's a bit of a head scratcher where you have CJ Perry, who's Andrade's manager, cheering him on throughout the match, only to cost him the match at the end to the confusion of basically everyone, including Miro.
Yeah, right.
And I understand circumstances with Andrade seemingly out the door dictated that probably had to happen. They want to protect Andrade on the way out. But at the same time, it's a bit of a head scratcher. Maybe we'll get some explanation why CJ cost Andrade this match on Dynamite or a Collision this next week. That being said, I gave it 2 3/4. It was fine, but never really elevated above fine.
Yeah, I thought it was a little bit better than fine. I gave this 3.5 stars. I thought that this was, it wasn't close to a 4-star match, but I thought it was hard hitting. It was obvious that Andrade was doing what he could to make Miro look good on his way out, which I appreciate. I always like that. He did the double hand tap out, but they still made him look strong by kicking out of a Machka kick. Yeah, the CJ confusion stuff. Maybe because I so expected it to happen, it made sense. Even though if you take the expectations out of it within the context of the match, it's a bit confusing. I totally understand your point there. That being said, 2 dudes who can going. I'm down with that. I gave it 3.5 stars.
All right. Steve woke up in a good mood today. Next.
Why wouldn't I, man? We're on the dawn of a new year. Fuck off 2023. Let's go 2024.
We could agree on that one. Next, Toni Storm successfully defended her AEW Women's Championship against Reho in a match that lasted 11 minutes and 40 seconds. Steve, what'd you give this one?
I really like this match. I think Toni Storm is number one. God dang it, man. Just so creative, so clever. Love all of her stuff. Reho, man, she can get tossed around like that finish, man, because she's small, so she can get the bumping is real with her, and I love to see it. I like this match a lot. I gave it 3.5 stars. I thought it was really good.
We are in agreement here. I gave it 3.5 as well. Toni Storm's doing some of the best character work in all of wrestling, and her character informs everything she does in the ring. That's what I appreciate the most about it.
Yeah.
If only production could hit their cues.
Yeah.
With some of her character stuff, that'd be great.
They need Kevin Dunn say, hey, carte blanche, you can produce this however you want to produce it. Cut.
10,000 cuts in a minute. Have at it. As long as they hit the moments that you need to hit.
Yeah.
Fun match. Yeah, 3.5 stars. We're in agreement. Next
bitch.
Swerve Strickland defeated Dustin Rhodes in about 9.5 minutes once the match actually started. My only quibble about this match is it was probably about 5 minutes too long.
How long was the match according to
9.5 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
Given that Swerve laid out Dustin before the match, stomped his ankle on a cinder block, and yet later on Dustin. This is no disrespect to Dustin Rhodes. He's been a phenomenal professional wrestler for 40 years now.
Yeah.
But, if you get your ankle stomped on a cinder block and you're on the precipice and not be able to compete in this match because you're not cleared medically, I don't know about going out there and dropping destroyers on people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it was, in a bubble, it was a fine match. It was good. But I felt like to advance Swerve's story more, it would have been more effective for him to either defeat Dustin quickly after it happened before the match officially began, or, as you mentioned in the recap last night, just really started going overboard in terms of the violent and just reveling in it. I'll give this. I'm so torn about this one. So I like both these wrestlers.
Doesn't matter. I love both these wrestlers, man. I do. I gave this a terrible rating.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna give it the same as the Miro and Andrade match. I'm gonna give it 2 3/4.
Okay. All right. I gave this 1 3/4.
Wow.
There's one thing in pro wrestling you really shouldn't do, and that's bore somebody. And Swerve did his best. He did his best to come off as the menacing character that we all know he can be. But when you plan out a match, look, man. There's 2 types of old wrestlers, right? They're the ones that, like, for example, Goldberg or Hulk Hogan. The older they get, the more powerful the Undertaker, the more powerful they become. The mystique of their successes in the past carry them, I guess, to being ultimate power, right?
Yeah.
Then there's the wrestlers that are like Dustin Rhodes or Dustin Runnels, whatever he goes by now, where you you exist to be sacrifices, man. That's what you exist for. Yes, you can put together a fun little tag team with Keith Lee, and for whatever reason they did that, which was a bad idea, never made any sense anyways. But at this point, or maybe you can do the Jay Lethal thing where you put him in a tournament and it's like you tell a story of, oh my God, I got 0 points. How do I redeem myself? Maybe you can do that with one of these older wrestlers. But at this point, you can't waffle. And this was a waffle match, man. This is a waffle match. You either don't even do the match because of the cool bit beforehand with the cinder block. You just don't do the match because he swerved. I got you. Or you do the match where Dustin foolishly, which is a good story, foolishly enters the match and with the busted leg and just gets absolutely eviscerated to the point of uncomfortability.
Yeah.
You either do one of those things, and then you can take that guy after like a couple months and have him get the kind of match we saw today where he's going to, oh man, I'm going to get this guy back. Now I'm at full strength. He still loses, but he puts up the old man good show.
Yeah.
You don't do that right after he gets his leg busted and you do a destroyer. It doesn't make any sense, and it takes me out of the match completely. The fact that he was putting up any sort of a fight against Swerve after what had just happened takes me out of the match. So for that reason, I gave this a really low grade. I gave it 1 3/4. You got it. It's just, look, I understand you got to fill time, but if you're going to fill time, do the match first and then maybe do the cinder block bit afterwards to show how nasty Swerve is. Mm-hmm. But you don't do the cinder block thing and then put on like, oh wow, what a great showing from Dustin.
Match. Yeah.
Self-indulgent from Dustin Runnels to have done this match.
Next
match.
Another 8-man tag match. You got Jericho, Guevara, Darby, and Sting taking on Hobbs, Takeshita, Big Bill, Ricky Starks. Oh, where to start with this one? This match was no good. 1 1/4 stars.
Larson, I'm going to break new ground here on our star ratings.
Minus?
I'm going with a big old dud.
Wow.
This match gets no stars for me. It shouldn't have happened. They shouldn't have put Chris Jericho out there. That crowd completely took it over with justification given what happened on social media earlier in the day. And so you could not escape the I felt so awkward watching this thing because it was clear as day, dude. These people didn't want to be involved with this. Nobody wants that stink on them.
Nope.
So, yeah, I gave this a dud. Get this out of here.
Yeah. Next
match.
On top of that, this was the third longest match on the card. 15 minutes and 40 seconds.
So awkward.
Sorry, fourth. Fourth.
It was so awkward.
It was super awkward. Next, TBS Championship match. Abdon challenging Julia Hart for that title. Julia Hart gets the win in 11 minutes and 35 seconds. Steve, what'd you give this one?
I gave it 3.5 stars. I really like this. Abdon as a character is so much fun. The presentation, just new alliance between Julia Hart and Sky Blue. I really enjoyed this match. I thought it was a lot of fun. Might have, my only quibble, and the match we just talked about had a ton of blown spots. So I'm not just saying this, but there was the moonsault as a finish, Larson, is such a tough cookie to crack because if you don't hit it right, if it doesn't look like there's been any impact whatsoever, it's hard to justify pinning somebody then because we just saw you completely overshoot Abdon. And that's why I don't care who it is, man or woman, the moonsault as a finish, kind of a tough one sometimes because if you don't hit it, it's just like, well, that's how the match is going to end. You barely whiff the person. And that's sort of what happened at the end of this match here. But that being said, I still thought it was a lot of fun. 3.5 stars. That's like one small quibble amongst, a really good match.
Yeah, it was really good. My quibble about it, and I don't disagree with anything you said regarding the moonsault. My primary quibble, though, I gave it 3 1/4. is because the stipulation going into this, as chosen by Abdon, was that biting was legal.
Should have been a lot more biting.
There should have been more biting, and I feel like biting should have played into the finish.
Oh, good point.
Which it did. Yeah. There was a section in the middle of the match where Abdon bit Julia Hart in the arm twice. That was it.
Moonsault's coming in. She goes.
Exactly. Something. Like she's getting pinned.
Yeah.
Ah.
That's a really good point, actually. Yeah, the biting should, like to start the match. I mean,
like if Abdon's picking this stipulation that biting is legal, then that's the first thing you should. I mean, it's just like logically in terms of the creative booking of the match, like find ways to take advantage of that. And I don't really feel like that ever really happened in this match. So that's why it's not as high as maybe otherwise would have been, considering the work itself of the match was really good.
Yeah, right. That's a really good point. If both of them shown up, if Abdon had shown up with like some metal chompers in her mouth, and Julia wasn't afraid of that. If Julia shows up and she's like biting, they do some like gimmick blood or something like that. That could have been that could have put this over the top. I agree.
Yeah. Been given them an interesting moment, or maybe it's a situation where Abdon's going for a finish. I don't know if this is possible, and she's setting up for it, and Julia bites her to escape it. You know.
Yeah.
It's like Abdon chose that stipulation thinking to benefit her. In the end, Julia took advantage to get the win. Something like that. You know.
Yeah. No, I like that. Yeah, that's good.
Next TNT Championship match, Adam Copeland. Taking on Christian Cage. Longest match on the card, lasted 25 minutes according to Wikipedia. Steve, what'd you give this one?
Gave it 3 3/4 stars.
Wow.
Thought it was really good. I really like this match. Couple of blown spots. You know, the awkwardness of the fire, that stuff. And then I don't know if you're going to include this on the thing, like the post-match match. Which wasn't really a match, but that kind of, I don't know. I like the idea of the first guy ever to cash in Money in the Bank as an opportunist thing, loses his title immediately to an opportunistic cash in. But something about it just left me feeling like a little bit on the empty side. And, but otherwise I really like this match. I thought that both guys really busted their asses, did a really great job. So yeah, I gave it 3 3/4 stars. If that, maybe if the table spot would have hit a bit more, if it was like a bigger thing or they actually reenacted the spear through the thing, maybe I would have given it 4. But I thought this was really, really fine work from these guys.
I did give it 4. I thought this match brought the crowd back into the show.
That's totally true.
Both of them busted their asses out there, put on a hell of a match, put their bodies on the line. Regarding the fire spot, I'm happy that after they went for the initial spot and the fire went out, that means they used the correct type of lighter fluid. That means no one's going to it lessened the chances that someone's going to get hurt. And I don't want to see that happening. So I didn't mind that at all. That means they're putting safety first.
20 plus years on, still traumatized by the sight of Supreme in XPW.
How could one not be?
It's burned into our
horrifying.
psyches, Larson.
It is forever.
Get it? Burned.
And yeah, I don't disagree with the cash in the match after this match. It might have been, in my mind, a bit more effective to have Luchasaurus Killswitch make his stand there.
Yeah, right, yeah.
As opposed to give in. We don't know what Christian whispered to him. Maybe we'll find out at some point. Nonetheless, I thought the work in this match itself was really, really good, so 4 stars.
Yep, there you go.
Next
bitch.
Continental Classic Final, Jon Moxley versus Eddie Kingston. Eddie gets the win in 17 minutes, 20 seconds. Hard-hitting stuff. These guys have great chemistry. This is the logical culmination of Eddie's story going through this whole tournament.
Yeah.
And, if this tournament inspires Tony Khan to book his show in a way that features more character-based in-ring storytelling, then I'm all in favor of that. I don't know if we saw that last night during World's End, but if that's the direction going forward, that'd be great.
You got to clear out the other stuff before you start with the new stuff, I guess. Yeah.
So, I gave it 4 1/4. It was hard-hitting stuff.
Wow.
I thought the way the match built toward the end, leading to the back fist from Eddie to get the win, was really well done. I thought for me it was match of the night.
Yeah, I gave it 3 3/4. I thought it was a really, really good match. Maybe overdoing it a little bit. Look, man, it's like an all-you-can-eat buffet. I like a lot of the chops and forearm stuff. Man, they really tested my limit on this one because it was a lot of that stuff. And at a certain point, I'm like, all right, let's give me something I haven't seen. and I didn't see a lot of that. Plus, the finish felt a tad anticlimactic, sort of coming out of nowhere. I like finishers that come out of nowhere, and I love the way Mox sells the back fist. He just crumbles. It's like a base hit from the old games. So I like that aspect of it. But I thought this was a weaker version of this type of match that we often see. Thought it was really good, almost 4 stars for me, but 3 3/4.
Very well. Main event. Samoa Joe, your new AEW World Champion after beating MJF in, 17 minutes and 50 seconds? Yes. Steve, what'd you give this one?
3 3/4. I thought that the story they told was really effective. I thought the finish should have built to more of a crescendo. Maybe MJ, and I don't know if it was because they wanted, Joe to look stronger or what, but they do the stuff sometimes when and the crowd's like, oh, come on, get out. You get the Long Island crowd into it. I feel like they didn't maximize, they didn't utilize, what that Long Island crowd wanted to see with MJF getting out of there. If you really crush them and break their hearts, oh man, you can feel that, as opposed to just sort of like, wait, what? What just happened?
Yeah.
So, and I kind of feel like that was the finish, but otherwise, man, they did a hell of a job. Can't complain about Samoa Joe as champion. I love to see it. So 3 3/4 stars.
I'm not too far off. I gave it 3.5. And yeah, the finish felt a bit flat. If they had done something comparable to Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels, a WrestleMania match.
Oh yeah.
The finish of that, where Shawn Michaels was in the ankle lock and scratching and clawing and trying to find any way to escape it, and ultimately coming up short. Mm-hmm. Might have been more effective. And I understand the ankle lock's a different maneuver in terms of escapability or potential than the clutch is. But the way that was at the Shawn Michaels Kurt Angle match, they took their time with that spot. They didn't rush anything.
Right, yeah.
And it was photographed magnificently in terms of the story. I mean, we criticize Kevin Dunn plenty, and he's in the news because he potentially or apparently is leaving WWE. But as we mentioned, those moments he generally gets right.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
In terms of hitting those story beats photographically. Mm-hmm. And maybe that was a situation here where maybe if this was shot a little different, I don't know. But if it's something like that where we see the drama play out, where MJF coming to the realization that it's over for him, this is it.
Yeah.
And he's still scratching and clawing to try to find a way out, but he can't. His body's been through too much. He's too beat up. Yeah. Adam Cole's plan has apparently come to fruition. It's been successful, even though Adam Cole didn't win the title. Then if those story beats were hammered home a bit more, then maybe I would have given this a higher star rating. Everything before the finish you can't quibble about. Samoa Joe is one of the best pro wrestlers in the world, as is MJF.
The muscle buster on the apron was fantastic.
There's a lot of good stuff here. I just felt like the finish fell a little flat for me to give it anything higher. 3.5 stars.
There you go. Hey, listen, man, we want to know what you guys think about the star ratings. Not only our star ratings, what we gave, we want to know what your star ratings are. So leave them in our comments below. Do us a solid, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, notify bell. We reached 20,000 subs by the end of the year. We're looking to get 50,000 by the end of 2024.
Yeah.
Can we do it? Will we do it?
I think we can.
Can't really tell the future. Anyways, that's going to do it for the show. Thanks, everybody. See you around.
Goodbye.